Well, it's been absolutely ages and ages since I reviewed a Hamilton on the channel. I think maybe way back when I started the channel, so that's got to be 8 or 9 years ago. But as soon as I saw this watch, I jumped on the chance because I really wanted to see the box. So I paid full price for this. Swatch didn't send me this in. This is the Hamilton Call of Duty Black Ops 7 limited edition in this really cool box. We will do the unboxing where I show you everything that comes in the box. And then we'll review the watch. This is a 38mm Hamilton khaki watch. This watch was released in conjunction with the Call of Duty Black Ops 7 game. Now, I'm not a big Call of Duty player myself. I am a gamer, but I play more Resident Evil, Assassin's Creed, Silent Hill type games. But I do know that this one was perhaps not as well received as some of the others in the series, so hopefully this watch will redeem itself for the Black Ops 7 name. This watch comes on a NATO style strap, but at the end I'm going to show it you on 2 different bracelet options, 2 bracelets that were very kindly sent into the channel by Larry over at Uncle Straps. So if you're interested in a bracelet option for maybe your Hamilton, I'm going to show you on this watch, but he also does bracelets for all host of other watches, Seiko, Omega, Longines, Tudor. So I'll leave a link to his website in the description down below. Enough of the intro, let's flip the camera, dive into the review, we'll do the unboxing, and as always, let me know your opinion in the comment section as you're watching this. Okay, let's see what's in this cardboard box. I'm really interested to see it. Let's open it up. There it is, the Pelican case. Let's just move this off to the side there. Okay, this is one of the reasons that I bought this watch, and I did pay full price for it. This isn't lent in by Hamilton or anything. I really wanted to see this custom box. We've got Hamilton Call of Duty. I'm presuming it's a Pelican box, but it doesn't say Pelican on it. It does say made in China on the back there. And then there is something here. Okay. This is some kind of tray, which I'm guessing goes inside the Pelican box. I'll just leave that off to one side. I'm sure we'll work out what that is in a second. Put the case down. We've got some handles on the side. I mean, it is really solid. I presume this is a Pelican case, I'm guessing, because I have seen Pelican make cases like this. Let's open it up. Oh, there we go. Oh, there it is. So we've got a little bit of a rubberized thing there with the warranty card. And then we have this pad, Call of Duty Black Ops 7 pad. Not sure what that's for. Maybe you could just keep your watch on it. And then here is the watch. So wow, that crystal is really reflective. Okay, we'll go over the watch in a second because this does have a custom case back. I don't think there's much else that's special addition to it other than the custom case back. Okay, so where does this go? Okay, kind of sits on there. I'm guessing. Let's see if this comes out. So that does come out, and then this I presume is just how the normal Pelican case looks. And then does this go? Okay, so it's a tray for this Pelican box. I presume you could still keep the watch in there just by lashing it to these Velcro strips. This is a really cool box, and I'm glad it lived up to expectations anyway, I should say. Before we dive into looking at this watch, if you stick around till the end, I've got 2 aftermarket bracelet options that were very kindly sent into the channel by Larry over at Uncle Straps. We'll go over both of those. I'll put them on the watch later. So when I started off watch collecting, it was the Seiko SKX 009, and then when you had a little bit more money, most collectors went with this Hamilton khaki watch. But to be honest, I've never owned one, and I've got to admit I had no idea how reflective this dome sapphire is. I'm guessing there is no anti-reflective coating on this whatsoever, so I'm really sorry. This is going to reflect the studio lights. And just to show you as an alternative, I have a Jack Mason here. This also has a domed sapphire crystal. Not domed, it is more of a top hat sapphire crystal, to be honest. But this one does have a little bit of AR coating in it, and as you can see, this is reflecting a little bit, but nowhere near as much. You can actually see my face in this crystal on the Hamilton, which you certainly can't do on the Jack Mason here. So there is a company I noticed that I think sells aftermarket AR coated crystals for this, but I think most people aren't going to be bothered with faffing around with that. I'm going to try and avoid reflections as much as possible, but I think I'm going to keep losing that battle. Well, let's just talk about the specs now. So this is the 38mm version. It is a 10.6mm in thickness, but I've measured it to more around 13.6 with this added section on here, the added piece of material we have on the back of this NATO strap. And then the lug to lug, which it doesn't list on the website, but the lug to lug on this watch is 47.2, which is quite the span, because if you've got a smaller wrist, I certainly was worried that 38 millimeters might be a little bit small for my wrist, but because we've got that longer lug to lug, that means it's going to wear quite nicely, and I'll put it on my wrist in a second. Also means that there's longer lugs. Easily put NATO straps or any other strap that you wanted to on here. There's enough clearance. The case is brushed on the side, high polish around the bezel. Perhaps not the most tactical look, having a highly polished bezel. And then we have this oversized crown that is not screw down. So this is just a push crown. The watch has 100 meters of water resistance, so there's no real need for it to have a screw down with that water resistance. The date is at 3 o'clock, which has a white background. And then the dial, which is the most distinctive part of this model line. It does have that familiar field look to it. We have the Arabic numbers and then the military time in the center, the military time conversion, I suppose you could say. Overall, a very legible dial. The hands are a mixture of a sword or Dauphine style hand with a little syringe tip. The loom is certainly interesting, not the greatest. You can certainly see the hands for quite a while, but the numbers which are loomed fade almost straight away. A bit disappointing on the loom, especially at this price. Finishing up on the hands, the second hand doesn't have any loom, but it does have a nice arrow tip to it. The strap really surprised me how well it's made. There's a Hamilton signed buckle and tang, and where it differs from a traditional NATO or nylon strap, has these leather, I'm not sure if they're real leather, but it has these leather keepers, which gives it a very distinctive look, I think. And then there's leather reinforcement around the holes, and then we also have a leather reinforced end there, so you won't get any fraying. This strap, I think it's exclusive, or this variant with the strap and the 38mm might be exclusive to this particular Call of Duty one, but you can buy these aftermarket. I think they're only $65, so maybe you could add one to your existing Hamilton watch and get a similar look. Let's flip the watch over, remove the strap, and take a look at this custom caseback engraving for the game. This one doesn't have a limited edition number saying which of the 5,000. I suppose it is pretty funny saying it's limited edition of 5,000, considering that's quite the limited edition run, having 5,000 of the same watch. And I think even now at publishing this review, there are some still available, so it hasn't sold out. Let's just talk a little bit about the movement. So this watch is using the ETA C07.611, which might not mean a lot to you. That name doesn't exactly slip off the tongue, but this is what's known as a Powermatic 80 movement, or within the family of the Powermatic 80. In some versions, ETA uses polymer parts in the escapement to reduce friction and extend the service intervals. This variant, the C07611, this Powermatic variant does have a traditional metal escapement, so it doesn't have that plastic escapement like some of the other Powermatic versions. And to reach that impressive 80-hour power reserve, which this has, they've dropped the beat to 61,600 vibrations per hour. What that means is the second hand is slightly less smooth than what you would see on other watches. As you can see here, that's not really that noticeable on this watch, but it still shares the same laser regulation, so it is hard to adjust afterwards. One of the other interesting things about this particular version of the movement is it's using their Nivacron balance spring, which is an alloy, a titanium alloy that they've made the mainspring out of it to help it reduce magnetic fields, and it also helps against temperature and knocks and things like that. Here you can see it on my 7.2 inch wrist. Spans very nicely with that 47+ millimeter from lug to lug. The strap is very comfortable. I do like the fact that they've reinforced this. I've never had a NATO where they've reinforced the holes there with leather. The only problem with this is for my wrist, there's not enough of the fabric to double this back on itself, so that does flap around a little bit, which is a bit annoying. I suppose I could loosen it up a little bit. If I loosen it up, there's less of a hangy bit, but it is a bit loose on my wrist. I could live with that, to be honest. It's not going to annoy me too much. So you've seen it on the Hamilton included nylon strap. Now let's take a look on these Uncle bracelets. So this is the executive bracelet. Looks very similar to another popular style of bracelet that has a royal sounding name that is copyrighted by a very famous watch company, so I won't say it. But essentially this is their executive bracelet. These bracelets have they have like a vintage style to them, so they do have a little bit of jangle, not too much, but I like that, appreciate that vintage style. And then we've got the Uncle signed buckle. So here is the executive bracelet for the 38mm Hamilton khaki watch, coming in, I think it's $99 this one. But yeah, looks really good. Solid end links as well. Let's take a look at this watch on the other bracelet, which is the Senator bracelet. Here's the next one up. This is the Uncle bracelet, the Senator bracelet. This is the one that's closest to the one that's named after a shellfish. Let's put that on. Oh, fits really nice. There's no micro adjust on. There's 3 positions of micro adjust, but no quick adjust on the fly. Here we have it on my 7.2-inch wrist. Can't decide which one I like. I think this would be more understated for a field watch, this Senator one, and then you've got a little bit more blingy with the executive one there. But yeah, really cool. So you got a couple of options if you want this on a bracelet that won't break the bank. So overall, a nice little field watch. I'm not sure the $975 price is sitting all that comfortably with me. Box is absolutely fantastic, but the lack of lume and also the lack of AR coating, which I think is pretty wild on a watch like this. What did you think of the review of the Hamilton khaki watch? Let me know in the comment section down below. Always appreciate hearing your opinion. You heard mine. If you're new to the channel, I would love it if you hit that subscribe button. I'm getting very close to 100,000 subs. I'd love to get there, maybe by the end of 2025. That's maybe a little bit optimistic, but certainly by the start of next year, I would really appreciate it. If you enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on Casual Watch Reviews. Thanks, guys. Bye.